Hey everybody, Jeff Davis here, and today I wanted to share with you a very challenging experience I had in 2020 while contracting with a particular company and dealing with and going through the greatest health challenge of my life. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you here today is because I truly believe and know there are valuable leadership lessons from this story that we can take from the story and apply in our lives as we continue to move forward. So let me get right into it. It was January 27th, 2020. I remember this day very vividly. It was a Monday. Monday, January 27th, 2020. I came home from work and I started to shake uncontrollably. My whole body was shaking and it lasted for hours. It was very scary and I never had something like this happen to me before. So the next morning, I went to my doctor, and the doctor said, Jeff, you are severely burned out. Severely burned out. It was a medical diagnosis, and on top of that, I had a number of very serious physical ailments that went along with the burnout. I'm not going to go into, with you here today, all of the ailments I had. They were very personal, but they did, some of them, required hospital treatments. So this was very serious, and I wasn't just going to my doctor for no reason. It was because I was shaking uncontrollably the night before, and I ended up being diagnosed with this condition that had ailments that required some very serious treatments. So my doctor said, I live here permanently in the Netherlands. I'm a legal citizen. I'm 100% European, and I have a European passport. My doctor said, here in the Netherlands, the common procedure is that you call human resources and let them know about what's going on, that you have to now go on sick leave to take care of your health. And then human resources will notify people at the company about what's going on with you. And then from there, whoever else wants to contact you and support you, they can. So I very much trusted my doctor. She had my best interest at heart. So I then proceeded to call into human resources with this company I was contracting with. And I told them that I was experiencing a health crisis and that unfortunately I had to go on sick leave and I didn't know when I was going to return. It was the truth. The person I spoke to at first was very friendly. She said, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll share this with people here at the company. I wish you well. And then a few days later, the HR director calls me on the phone and he says, Jeff, you have to come in. You have to come into the office and you have to tell me what's going on with you. And I said, sir, I'd love to come in, but I have this incredibly serious health crisis. I don't have that capacity or energy to come in. I'm happy to talk with you here on the phone, but I just don't have the energy to come in. I'm on a huge health crisis right now, and I need to stay home. And again, he said, you have to come into the office. I need to hear your story. I need to hear all the details. Now, my doctor told me, Jeff, you are not legally required to share all of the details of your health crisis. I've shared with you here today that it was a very serious burnout. There was more to it that I'm not sharing because it's very personal, and that's my right. Well, the HR director became very, very upset on the phone, and he got very sort of a little bit like rude. He wasn't yelling, but he became very blunt with me, and he said, I don't understand why you can't come in. And I said, sir, I have a health crisis. I ask that you respect that. A few weeks go by. I meet with this HR director one-on-one. Why did I meet with him? He was very insistent that he wanted to meet with me. I'm going through this health crisis. It was the worst health crisis of my life. I was not doing well. I didn't feel supported by this company. He insisted he wanted to meet with me, and I thought, okay, I'll meet with the guy. So we meet one-on-one. And it got ugly. It got ugly. He said, Jeff, you have no values. You have no values. He was attacking me personally. He was also attacking my character. I wasn't taking his words personally, but he was choosing to attack me. He said, Jeff, you have no values. I said, sir, I was listening to my doctor who said the common procedure is to call in human resources and let them know what's going on. And he said, well, you shouldn't have contacted human resources. You should have gone through your boss. I said, sir, I didn't know that. When I called in, you or someone else could have said, hey, Jeff, can you just let your boss know? Sure. I was just following procedure. I was just following procedure per my doctor's recommendations. And for the record, I had zero issue with my boss. In fact, I liked him. I thought he was very smart. I enjoyed working with him. I learned a lot from him, and I wish I could have worked with him longer. So there was no issue with my boss, and I had no issue with telling my boss. I just thought I was following procedure to tell human resources. And then the HR director tells me as we're having this coffee, oh, well, your doctor doesn't have any values either. He then proceeds to discriminate against me because I'm American. He says, oh, well, you're from America, and yeah, people there are a bit weird. They're not really direct. They're not really to the point. Maybe you had trouble because you're from America, which was unbelievable that he was saying this, by the way. First of all, I'm 100% European. I grew up in America, so I'm a dual citizen. I am very direct. I wasn't hiding anything. I was simply following procedure. Now, this HR director clearly was giving me a lot of crap. He didn't support me at all. He didn't understand it, and he was giving me a lot of crap. And I promise you, my friend, I am not afraid to stand up for myself. The thing is, in that moment, I was literally beyond exhausted. I couldn't function. Not only did I have zero energy, I had negative energy. I was just gone from this health crisis. I had the hospital treatments. I did not have energy to stand up to this dysfunctional man. So I smiled and I took his crap. What happened next, or what I'm about to tell you, I never could have predicted in a million years. In a million years, my friends, I never could have predicted what would happen next. Well, some time passes, and again, my recovery wasn't going well because the company that I was contracting with was bullying me. They weren't supporting me. I felt very anxious. I had to get some advice from lawyers. My recovery wasn't going well. So some time passes, and the HR director contacts me, and he says that you need to have a video chat with me, the HR director, you, me, Jeff, and your boss. So the HR director demanded a chat. Now, I was talking to several doctors, including the company doctor. And the company doctor said, Jeff, you have this massive health crisis. He was being very supportive. The doctors didn't necessarily take my side. They were just doing their job. And he said, Jeff, you are not required to have a video chat with the company while facing a health crisis. And he said, in fact, if you are to talk to them, I wouldn't talk to them alone. I would have someone with you, a friend, a colleague, a professional, someone. So the doctors were supporting me, and they were saying I would not go into this conversation with the HR director and your boss alone. So, my friends, I did not say anything negative back to the HR director. I didn't even tell him no. I said very respectfully, I respectfully request, sir, that we delay this chat. I'm considering possibly involving someone else in the conversation, and I'm still recovering. And my lawyer read the email I sent, and my lawyer said, Jeff, that was very respectful. They proceed, the company I'm contracting with, the HR director, he proceeds then to demand I come in and work. So it was an email, but then in an attachment to the email was this document. And they demanded that I come in and work. Meanwhile, I've already said this to you a number of times, but I want to reiterate it and emphasize it. I was getting hospital treatments. I was facing the greatest health crisis of my life, and my condition was worsening due to the stress I had dealing with this toxic, dysfunctional human resources department. He demands that I come in and work, and then he also said in the letter, after your contract is up, we never want to work with you again. So they were very upset. Meanwhile, I have only been following the advice of the doctors. I have only been respectful to them. I have done nothing wrong according to many of my Dutch friends. And in fact, I have not only ran this story by many of my Dutch friends, but I've shared this internationally with many people around the world through emails and text messages and video chats. And everyone has told me, Jeff, you did nothing wrong. You put your health first. You were following procedure. This company was not correct in their approach towards you. And both of my doctors said to me, they have never seen in all their lives a company treat someone like this while facing a health crisis. But it gets worse. It gets worse. They then demanded I come into work. I responded. I said no, very respectfully. I didn't take it personally. I realized that it was a reflection of them, not of me. So I said, no, I'm going to ask for a second time that we delay the chat. Then a bit more time goes by, and they threaten me. They threaten me in writing. The rest of the details of the story I will share in my upcoming book. But they threatened me in writing, and then I'll jump to the end here now. That's where I involved 4 lawyers. So I involved 4 lawyers, including one main lawyer, who stood up for me because I did nothing wrong and I was completely in my rights as I was recovering from this health crisis. I won the legal battle. So the company lost and I won. The lawyers did their job completely. I won the battle. Their corruption backfired. I then involved the global CEO of this multi-billion euro conglomerate. This was the Dutch office I was dealing with, but it's a global company. I involved the global CEO and the global vice president of human resources, and they both said to me, it was completely unacceptable, Jeff, how you were treated, and they spoke to the company on my behalf as well. So 4 lawyers plus the global CEO plus the global vice president of human resources all stood up for me. I won the legal battle, and I defeated this highly corrupt, highly toxic, highly dysfunctional human resources department. There it is. There's the story. I'm going to share many more details in my upcoming book, The End of Workplace Dysfunction, where I will share this story among other stories I've experienced as well. And the lesson is pretty clear. Treat your employees well. Support them when they're struggling. Help them get better. Be an authentic leader by having empathy. That's the lesson. Support your employees. It is so, so important. And there are so many companies out there who put money ahead of their employees, and it's very dysfunctional. It's something that really we need to address in the workplace, that there are employees who are getting bullied, and they're getting discriminated against, and they're getting threatened like I was, and they're just having to deal with it. But look, I didn't have the energy to stand up for it myself, but I involved the 4 lawyers, including the one main lawyer and also the global CEO and the global VP, and I won. Well, the company should not have messed with me. They should not have messed with me. I'm not sure if they knew that I'm an award-winning author, that I share my work with millions of people. I'm also going to share this story with tens of millions of people, but indeed I won. I'll leave you with this, my friends. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. How someone treats you is their karma, how you react is yours. How someone treats you is their karma, how you react is yours. Have a great day.